Hey everybody, Monster, back with Marvel Heroes, and back with Magneto on the chopping block, and this time he's level 60, and we got his build ready to go, and I call it Magnus, and he's pretty fun. He turned out pretty good. He can rip through some cosmics pretty well, at least the way I built them anyway. It's probably going to be pretty popular this way. I don't see too many other ways to go. It's just the way it is. Some skills stand out, and that's just the way it is, at least in my mind. And this is what I like to do, and I leveled going this way, and it just destroyed everything. A little bit spirit heavy, so River of the Soul really paid out. But as far as the build goes, we're going to do 20 points into Shrapnel Barrage. This just ripped things apart. 20 points in Magnetic Attraction. This really helps with CC crowd control. It's like no tomorrow. And it destroys little bad guys and big groups of mobs. It just eats them up alive. 20 points into Superiority. Now, interestingly enough, we're not going to do anything with Magnetic Eruption. We're not even going to use that mechanic, but we're going to take advantage of the damage rating when we pick up a debris orb. And we're going to take advantage of generating extra debris and additional debris when we pick up a debris orb. And we're going to gain endurance and get the lower spirit cost. And that's all going to beef up Shrapnel Barrage. And obviously debris generators are going to get a power damage increase as well. And that's going to increase the damage of Shrapnel Barrage yet again. We're going to do 20 points into Storm of Steel. This is his signature ability. It's pretty awesome. Can't talk enough about the damage that this thing does. It just shreds things. 20 points into Indomitable. This is an awesome buff. I mean, crit damage, or pick up radius. Extra debris, an additional 5 debris when you pick up a debris orb, and you're just getting debris everywhere. It makes debris almost, non-factorable. Electromagnetic Field. This is his defensive passive, because it gives you damage negated. At least 1 point you're going to want in this. I'm doing 20 points for the defense rating. But also you get the projectile deflection chance, and then when you deflect or reflect, this will actually shoot back shots at enemies. You restore 6 spirit, and that keeps you going in spirit as well. I feel he's a little bit light on defense. He's like the average ranged character. They build the ranged characters a little bit lighter on defense. Melee characters, they get higher defenses. So, if you want to solo cosmics and everything, you're going to want the defense. I do 20 points into Meat Grinder. This puts nice big circles on the ground that chew things up. It does a lot of extra damage a second. It ticks twice a second. Very helpful in destroying extra packs. Very helpful in whittling down bosses. And finally, all your extra points go into Waste Not. This automatically fires shrapnel at enemies every quarter second, as long as you have 50 or more debris. And that's really going to help whittle down bosses, especially with Shrapnel Barrage generating so much debris a second, with Indomitable and Superiority generating all that extra debris. You're always going to be full of debris, and Waste Not's just going to be automatically firing with Shrapnel Barrage. And then you're going to be using Magnetic Attraction just to blow through all the trash. And that's basically how the build works. We're ignoring Magnetic Eruption, Polarity Surge. They have such a long cooldown anyways. Even though you can knock down that cooldown, I just find that I'm blowing through the mobs with Magnetic Attraction anyways. Or not Magnetic Attraction, I'm sorry. Yeah, Magnetic Attraction. And, using Magnetic Eruption just interrupts that CC, and then all of a sudden you get shot and hit and hurt. You're taking damage. It just doesn't work so well. And Shrapnel Barrage, you're interrupting the shots by trying to fire off one of these big bad boys, and it just doesn't do enough damage to cause the interrupt. And if you're going to do anything like that, you might as well use blunt instrument, because this is going off every 4 seconds anyways, and it does almost the same damage. It's trickier to use because you got to be really on the spot with the aiming. Anyways, for gear, I did pretty well. I got all 5 pieces of the gear. They're all pretty much 55 or higher. This is the lowest piece I got, I think, is his helmet. So I got his Age of Apocalypse helmet, and that's giving us damage rating, defense, damage rating on energy attacks, health, crit rating, critical damage rating. So that's working with Indomitable, intellect, chance to ignore mental damage. And you take less damage from mental powers anyways, but +3 to all Magneto's mingled metal powers, and +3 to all Magneto's Master of Magnetism powers. So that's pretty awesome. I got the Fury of Mutant Kind, his boots. It's got attack speed, rare identifying, special identifying, crit strike, brutal strike rating on there. When you pick up debris orbs, you gain damage rating with damage over time powers. And if you get 3 stacks of that, you get damage rating altogether for 15 seconds. +2 to all powers, +5 to shrapnel barrage. So that's pretty awesome right there. I got his Mantle of Fortress X. This is giving us damage with area powers. Most of these are area powers except for shrapnel barrage. Giving us health, power duration. That's going to help extend our signature ability even further. Spirit. We like Spirit. Health regeneration. When you hit with an area power, gain energy damage rating for 10 seconds. That's awesome. +1 to all powers, +2 to Meat Grinder. We use Meat Grinder. And +3 to all Magneto's electromagnetism powers. So that's pretty good. We got Headmaster's Tonic. This is giving us a good chunk of defense, as well as damage rating versus people with vulnerable or weakened. We don't do any of those. So solo, we're not going to get any of those benefits. In a group, if someone else is putting those up there, we will get that benefit. That gives us a good chunk of health, though, plus fighting, which is useful anyways. You take less damage from melee powers. When you drop below 50% health, though, you gain 1600 defense rating for 6 seconds. While this effective active, each debris orb that you pick up heals you for 278 health, and you gain an additional 281 defense rating for 6 seconds, which stacks 6 times with a 30-second cooldown. So that's a pretty big buff right there. +2 to all powers, +6 to electromagnetic field, +3 to Indomitable, +7 to Storm of Steel. So that's an awesome buff right there. I mean, Storm of Steel is awesome. And then the Sins of Magnus. So this is giving us damage rating with ranged powers. Everything's flagged with range. Critical damage rating, brutal strike damage rating, so it's going to make our crits hit harder. Plus energy, projectile deflection chance, minus spirit cost for powers, +3 to all mingled metal powers, and +4 to all Master of Magnetism powers. Definitely take that. I got his black costume, actually. With that, I got all health on there because I'm taking it up to 20k. I've been doing 25k because I solo a lot. 25k on melee heroes and 20k on ranged. I would drop that down to like 17.5 on ranged and 20k on melee if I was in a raid or in a group. So I'd just have a different costume, and all I would do is outfit critical damage or damage rating, whatever you prefer, depending on how set up you were, how much crit hit you had on a different costume. But this has a core, 3-to-1 core, 25% of health, and 100 spirit on medkit use with +1 energy. So that's a nice little damage boost. I'm not using relics in Lemuria. Finally broke free of that because I'm running out of relics in Lemuria anyways, because I have 40 other heroes with relics in Lemuria. So I'm using Relic of Xandor. Everything's flagged ranged, so I used this stack, which is giving me 200 damage rating with ranged powers. I got an Insignia of the Falcon. Not the best insignia, but I needed defense and some dodge. It would help lower some damage, trying to mitigate some damage. The Insignia pretty well sucks. I'd rather have some crit defense and maybe something else on there, like with range damage or something. River of the Soul on a defensive Uru, trying to get my defense well over 10k, trying to get that mitigation up there. I got a Cosmic Ring with critical hit, defense ratings, spirit, and health. This is actually a pretty decent ring for him. I got a Danger AI chip. This will help mitigate some damage, but also, you know, it's got 383 damage rating, so it's pretty good with energy. It's almost max, so it gives me a good chunk of damage. I got Magneto was right t-shirt. He's Magneto. He should wear his own t-shirt, I think. So, you know, 323 damage rating with range powers, same with area powers. Most of it's flagged area, all of it's flagged range, so it's getting a good share of that damage rating. Decided to go with a Mega Sentinel Medallion because I needed the defense and the health. I didn't need the health so much, but the defense really needed. See, I'm not quite at 10k yet. This will put me there. But it's also got a good chunk of range damage, +2 to all powers. I didn't have a better Cosmic anyway. Plus 2 to all powers I really wanted. Advanced Phoenix Feather. I mean, you know, he's all energy. That's kind of a staple. And the Hand of Nimrod. Not a high DPS one, but their spirit when you hit is going to pay out big time for us in this build. And that's going to keep us, you know, really happy in Cosmics. So we're going to go obliterate a Cosmic Dr. Octopus, and that's what's going to happen. Let's make it Cosmic. And I have the toggles on a different bar, so before you start, you want to make sure you turn your toggles on. What's nice about the skill here is it really makes you mobile. Let me get the tracker up. So by using magnetic attraction, once you hit the button, you can move around. It channels on its own, so you can avoid a lot of the damage coming around. Plus, all these guys are shooting anyways. So I'm sitting at somewhere around like a 46% chance to knock off one of these ranged attacks anyways. Come across a big group, I use the signature. I mean, they just literally just fall down. The signature right now is hitting for 181,000 damage twice a second. That's insane damage. So as you can see, as soon as I get hit, the health goes down. The signature also mitigates damage. So if you're in a tight situation, it's pretty good. Sometimes you save the signature in the boss fight for when something ugly happens, because it's negating, I think, 60%. Yeah, 60% damage while channeling. So it's going to put you at 80% damage negation. I mean, I could do this all day. This is just disgusting. Theoretically, I suppose you could just keep doing this against Curse, but these guys are pretty tough. I'm not sure how well that's going to go. I haven't tested the live version against Curse yet. This is doing much better than test centers. Let's see. The only problem you're going to have is against a Bubble Boy. If you get a reflects ranged attacks. Now you can try killing him. You can see the damage is negligible here, so we're going to switch over to our ranged. I'm going to try to lead him back into it disappeared already. When you're using the shrapnel barrage, make sure you got him in meat grinder as well. It's just an insane amount of extra damage going on. You don't have to worry about debris costs because there's so much debris being generated from shrapnel barrage. And that was real simple, pretty quick. Just ate him up alive. He really didn't stand a chance. If he was a bubble boy, he would stand a chance. Curse generates so many extra mobs, you'd have to sit there and magnetic attraction everything to death with meat grinder, and then just storm of steel him to death. It should work, but it's going to be a much slower kill. But that's it. Magneto's pretty magnificent. That's the Magnus build. So I hope it helps. Hope you guys enjoyed. Talk to everybody real soon.